What if getting what you need could be as simple as tapping your phone and having it land gently in your yard 30 minutes later? Drone delivery has long felt like something out of the Jetsons. But as of today, it's not just real, it's scaling. And Walmart is leading the charge. In this episode, I'm joined by someone right in the center of that transformation. Precia Carraway, Senior Manager of Autonomous Delivery at Walmart. With a background that spans aviation, mechanical engineering, connected vehicles, and IoT, Precia brings a rare blend of expertise and passion to one of the most innovative logistics programs in the world. Today, we get into the future of last-mile delivery, how unmanned traffic systems actually work, the real human impact of autonomous delivery, and what it takes to safely operate tens of thousands of drone flights across U.S. communities. Let's get into it. Precia, welcome to Edge of IT. Before we begin on drone delivery, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be with us. I mean, drone delivery, I feel like this is one of the coolest things that we've ever had the opportunity to talk about. Before we jump in on that, I'd love to sort of ground our listeners on who you are. If you don't mind, could you share a little bit about your background and what led you into the world of autonomous delivery? I mean, you've got such an incredible story.
Thank you, Jonathan, for having me today. I actually started a long time ago while I started building airplanes when I was younger and grew up in an aviation space. And because of that, I loved engineering and I fell into mechanical engineering. And so that took me into telecom. And for the 15 years before I joined Walmart, I was actually working in IoT, connected cars, autonomous vehicles, and drones, working on their terrestrial as well as their satellite systems to be able to give them the way to connect anywhere around the world. And then when Walmart said, we're going to have a drone program, I made a beeline over to them because that was my love. That was my passion to be able to say, yes, I'm working in aviation again, and I get to be able to give it to all the customers that Walmart supports. I want to give them convenience and the ability to make it their everyday life.
I mean, it just makes so much sense. It's like this perfect storm of experience and passion that brought you here. Was there a specific moment when drone delivery just clicked for you and you thought, I mean, this is just going to change everything?
It was that right moment when I knew that the regulation, the tech, and the customer need was there. How it came into regulation is the FAA has been slowly migrating its rule set to be able to share this space with aviation pilots that move people and product today. But now we're doing it on a smaller, faster scale. And then when I realized that it was achievable and cost effective for anyone that wanted to shop with Walmart, then that was a yes for me.
For me, this still feels, as a city guy, I grew up in this city. This feels very George Jetson, futuristic, but truly, it's here. What actually happens? Like, how does this work? I pull out my phone, open up a browser, I place an order. What goes on between me clicking pay for this and it just showing up?
Well, first, you've had a hard day, a lot of decisions to make. You've forgotten something and you need it fast. So yes, you open up your computer, your phone, you look at what you need. You say, I need just a few things and I need it in 30 minutes or less. We receive that order. We pick and pack from the local store you already shop at. And then we fly it over to your place and deliver it. And all we need is a picnic area space within your lawn to be able to hover over and gently lower it down, which allows us to deliver so many items from our supercenters.
The challenge has been out there for a while in the space where the last mile delivery has been the most difficult and expensive part of retail logistics. So this may not be familiar for all of our listeners. So how would you define that last mile problem? And how do drones specifically help solve it in a way that traditional ground delivery doesn't?
Well, when e-commerce really kicked off, we were used to getting our deliveries within a week. And then people got used to 2 days. And then people got used to 1 day. And then 4 hours. And now drone delivery is when you think of it, we'll deliver it to you. And how it's solved in last mile delivery is it says, okay, where you're going to be, we can deliver it. You no longer have to have a person you interact with. It will deliver it to your home. And so we are now saying, you think of it in 30 minutes or less, it's to you. We're almost as close as a transporter.
From our conversations, right, it seems that, Walmart invested in this technology long before it was trendy. Why was this the right moment to lean in? Were there any unique shifts within this technology that made it finally scalable, operational, affordable?
It did, in the sense that technology year after year gets less expensive. People are also making drones where their propellers are much quieter, so it's accepted in more communities, as well as we have airspace that we understand, and our drone vendors are building out unmanned traffic management systems in which we can densify the space and we can share the skyways. They're flying in a range of 0 to 400 feet. And so within that, we have to speak to each other and say, are we clear to fly? Are you clear to fly? And so that's helped. In the beginning, it was very large solutions that were very heavy. And as the years have gone by, we've increased the range, we've increased the payload, and we've increased the speed. And with that, that's what made it actually a good year, or years actually, because we're entering our fifth, to be able to say it is time to make this go from pilot to operation.
Unmanned traffic systems. So again, as we spoke before, my background is as a chemist. I think in 3D. When I think of Back to the Future 2, right, where you got the cars flying all over the place, my mind thinking about flying vehicles has always been, well, how do you know where your lane is, right? When it's somewhat 2D, when it's 3D on the road, you can paint lines and whatnot. But what I think I heard you describe was a unified system that is understood across multiple vendors' traffic lanes in the sky. Am I getting that correct?
Traffic lanes, but adding layers.
And this is possible because of the drone. Now, the drones, are they talking to each other, or the vendors are talking to each other, saying where the drones are or are not?
There's no solidified solution yet. They're coming to it slowly. They can talk to each other. They can talk to FAA systems. They can use transponders. And we'll get a little deeper into that on where certain Class B airspace is where they need to have a transponder to say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And lets everyone in the crowd know where they're going and at what velocity so that we can manage traffic.
You've mentioned that drone delivery impacts people individually in real human ways. From your vantage point, what kind of customers or communities benefit the most from this shift to faster at-home delivery?
You can have a caretaker who's taking care of children and they can't leave their home, but they need something fast. And so what we can do is deliver baby formula, or if you happen to be sick, then we can deliver over-the-counter medications. And that's been one of the biggest boosts that everyone agrees on. If you can deliver medicine and I don't have to go to the pharmacy, that's great. And also what that means, because we're in autonomous delivery, is it's from the pharmacist to you in that chain of custody, no one in between, and you get to keep your privacy.
Oh, Dean, that is game changing. I'm home, I'm sick, I've got the flu, I can get help, right? It takes that emotional barrier away from, like, I got to get dressed, I got to shower, I got to get in the car, I got to call somebody and ask them, can you go pick something up for me? I mean, I feel that feels very powerful.
It solves a lot of problems. What we want to do is basically say, we'll meet you where you are as fast as we can.
I mean, this is not something that is going to start. This is something that's literally in flight right now. I mean, you've reached over 400,000 deliveries. That's incredible. What have you learned from this scale in terms of consumer readiness, adoption, and how is this changing the way people order?
Well, first, what we've learned. We've learned that flying is the easy part of this operation. What is the more complex is laying down the infrastructure, being able to marry legacy retail with new age delivery. And what we've given to the community is we've listened to them. They want to be heard, and we want to be able to show that we are listening. And that means that we have to be mindful of things such as the EPA. We do a study every time we go into a market to say, will it bother the area, in the nature, in the local animals? Will we stay quiet? Will we be able to basically give them what they need without disturbing their lives? Case in point, when a drone flies over, it sounds as noisy as an electric mower. That means it's not very noisy. Matter of fact, if you don't know the direction the drone is flying to your house, you won't know until you see it because you can't hear it before it comes to you. And that's been a big win for us and for the communities we've entered.
Most communities are not opposed to lawn care. In fact, they probably encourage it, right?
Right.
Right. The regulatory landscape is indeed complicated. I mean, you're like, as you mentioned, you're dealing with multiple different parties, state, local, federal. You've got the municipalities, you've got the airspace. That's a lot of communities that you've got to work through. In managing all those different layers, what goes into making one of these deliveries happen legally?
Well, first of all, we get airspace clearance. We make sure that we're flying in the right area over the right locations. In other words, we don't want to fly over a school, a utility, anything like that. We make sure that we are flying from our stores to residential areas. Then, when we have to set up what we call a nest, we want to make sure that we take up the least amount of space. We have to ask the local municipalities, is this good for you? Do you like where we're placing this? What do you think about the noise as well? We give them an idea of how many flights we will be doing per day. And then they say yes or no to this. We will have many people with many opinions that come in. And what we try to do is educate them. This is something new. This is not something scary. And so we invite a lot of people to say, this is what drone delivery is. We walk them through what powers it, which is lithium-ion batteries that charge up and let them fly in the sky. We show them how safe it is in different types of weather and how they hover and how we pick up that payload, make sure that it's safe against the aircraft, how we gently land it, the payload, not the drone, in the lawn, and show them that this is just going to be something just like your normal delivery person would set on your lawn. It's not anything different. But I do understand that a lot of people, when they realize a drone is flying, they're going, oh, we're not sure about this. We also educate them that we don't record. When our drones are flying, we do not look at the ground. What we're trying to do is scan the horizon, making sure that we don't bump into something else as we fly. That's it. And then we hover and drop off and come back home.
If I think back to what other tech parallels are out there, we went from people using animals, horses, mules to move cargo, to automobiles, to larger vehicles, trucks. They all were literally in the same, operating in the same plane, maybe at different speeds, different technologies, right? And people saw it happen slowly. Cars didn't expand in less than 5-10 years, right? It took a significant amount of time for just manufacturing, adoption. But I mean, here we are in 2025, and it feels like everything is just moving way faster. When things move fast, it comes down to trust and people feeling comfortable with change. And the older we get, the harder change is. The harder it is to trust things. And to be confused by it. So, I mean, What do consumers misunderstand about most drones? And how's your team working to build confidence, especially in communities where this is brand new? This is different.
They want to know that it's not going to be something as as I've said before, as noisy as a swarm of bees, which we're not. They want to make sure that they maintain their privacy, which we do. You never have to tip a driver, which is something very surprising to them. With autonomous delivery styles like this, you don't. A lot of autonomous wheeled vehicles solve the last mile, but doesn't solve the last 50 feet. And what I mean by that is getting it to their door. And there's so many different ways to get to a door. And the drone delivery literally flies over and delivers. So another thing that's wonderful about drone delivery they don't know is you pick a space. If you don't want it delivered in your front lawn, do you want it on the side? Do you want it in the back where it's safer and more predictable so that you don't have to worry about porch pirates? We can do that for you. The accuracy has become better and better. I remember a few years ago, we would say you need an entire backyard for us to deliver. But now it's gotten tighter and tighter to a picnic blanket. And so that's all the space we need. And that's pretty amazing for people that we went from such a large amount of land to such small ones. And that means that we can now deliver in more densified spaces. Used to, it was a rural space, but now we're coming into major cities. That being said, we're in Dallas, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina, we're in Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Houston, and also good old Bentonville, Arkansas, where our headquarters are.
Listening to Precia describe the process, one thing becomes clear. Flying drones is the simple part. The real work lies in everything surrounding it. Airspace approvals, community conversations, environmental studies, and the challenge of blending autonomous aviation into everyday neighborhoods. Insight is important, but as you've heard, insight alone doesn't put a drone in the air. To truly scale this, Walmart has had to marry retail infrastructure with aviation-grade precision, building systems that are safe, predictable, and trusted. So I asked Precia to take us there. How communities are responding, how store operations are adapting, and what events like Nest Fest are revealing about the road or sky ahead. Within the organization, the actual stores as the retailers, has there been any challenges in the adoption? Have operations had to change significantly in day-to-day?
Funny enough, so that actually is the difference between us and probably our main competition. So you mentioned our stores, which is a very big part of our decision is our stores started to be built out in the 1950s and 60s. So we're centrally located. And what we're learning is that when it comes to stores, not only do our associates, employees of Walmart, not only do they pick and pack for the drone delivery, but they're also answering questions for people who are coming into stores. And so what we've learned is how do you pick and pack fast enough for that 30-minute delivery, as well as making our customers happy within the stores. That's a great advantage. And that's also what's made it actually attractive because people are now coming into the stores and realizing they have that delivery method. They no longer, if they need to make that short trip. Case in point, your Walmart may be 4 or 5 miles away, but if you can do drone delivery, that means you don't drive to the store, find the parking, go inside, shop for what you need. And in holidays, that gets harder and harder. Go through the longer lines at the cash register, then load your car back up, drive back home, and then you finally have your product. Now it's just literally, like you said, on your phone. I need it. I want it. Here it is.
Literally, if your store, right, and probably there's most stores are probably within 4 to 5 miles, right? So call that 10 to 15 minutes to get there and grab one thing and check out, another 10 to 15 minutes to get home. You've just regained that 30-minute delivery time back into your life to take advantage of something else. No, that's powerful. Now, you just wrapped Nest Fest, which feels like a key moment for community engagement. mean, how did the event go? And what did it tell you about where this technology is heading next?
It went so well. It was great to meet all the mayors that we are going to have drone delivery in Atlanta, and so many more to come, and how they were impressed with the regulatory, the safety of drone delivery, the oohs and ahs about how much we could get in that payload and what we could deliver. For instance, another thing that people don't realize is because we deliver so fast, your hot food stays hot, your cold food stays cold. That's something you can't get with normal food delivery. Usually you load it in a car and they make a round robin to all their destinations because that's what makes it viable for them. For us, we fly it directly to you and back again. And so at NestFest, we're teaching people how we're doing that, how the systems work, how we charge up, and how we go about day-to-day operations.
The idea of not having melted ice cream is definitely a significant benefit. So, I mean, looking ahead in the next year or two, what are you most excited about as this becomes a normal part of everyday life?
That people no longer think about, I have to wait until I load up enough to complete a basket. Now all they have to do is go, oh, I need it now. And there it is. We're making it very cost effective, everyday low cost for us to give it to our customers. I love the ability that we're going to be able to open this up to more and more people around the nation and for them to experience it no matter where they live. Because what we want to do is we have 90% of the population covered within 10 miles of a Walmart. And we want to aim for that population to be able to deliver to them as often as possible for whatever they need. And right now, we are actually going into our third generation of drones and infrastructure and giving them more and more items as our payload gets bigger and bigger, which means a larger basket to be delivered to you soon.
I like the idea of diminishing basket anxiety. Just being able to say, no, that's all I need. It's okay. I don't need to wait until I can find one or two more things. So Precia, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. I mean, if you had to leave our listeners with one thought about the role drone delivery will play in the future of retail, what would you want them to walk away with?
That with drones, we're taking the road never traveled to deliver to our customers at everyday low costs.
I love that. Incredible. Precia, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
A huge thanks to Precia for joining me. As I walk away from this episode, one thing stands out. While the tools are evolving, the mission of last mile delivery hasn't changed. It's still about access, reliability, and meeting people right where they are. As autonomous delivery takes flight, sometimes literally, it becomes even more important for teams, communities, and regulators to move in harmony. Because the future of delivery isn't just fast. It's coordinated, thoughtful, and built on trust. I'm Jonathan Gough, and this is Edge of IT. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Thanks for listening.